And we're back, or at least I am. I'm here with Henry, guys. We have the immediate reaction right now to Game 7 of, I guess, what would be the Eastern Conference Final. It's not. They were given the Eastern Conference trophy, so I'll say that much. The New York Islanders losing 1-0 to the Tampa Bay Lightning, putting the Lightning back in the Stanley Cup Final. The defending champions have a chance to repeat. Henry, you're an Isles fan, so I'm going to get your reactions at first. So
this is not my immediate reaction. I will say that my immediate reaction was hurling obscenities at my television screen. But now that I'm consoled myself, I think that the Islanders played good hockey. The Lightning played good hockey, and there was nothing that could have been done for the Isles to win that game. I think the Lightning played the way they did in the Stanley Cup Final last year. I think they're at the top form. I think the second line caught fire, and that was killer for the Isles because they did not do well against the second line. And the shorthanded goal, which was crazy because that's against an Isles team that has not allowed a penalty kill, a shorthanded goal on the penalty kill at all this season. So I feel like it's odd that would come to an end. But
so we're gonna go ahead and bring up this goal real fast here. This is, I mean, you got to talk about how it was a good run for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like this
they were the 4th seed in their little pod. I'm not really sure how they did the start. I kind of only caught on after the playoffs started, but they were the 4th. I did not expect them to beat the number 1 team in the Penguins, the Bruins too. Like those are 2 strong teams that have had historical success, and that even I, as hockey casual, I'd call myself. Yeah.
You got Nick a hockey casual as well. I know that he was really pulling for that, and that's just kind of what playoff hockey does. It's just what it tends to do. It's sometimes just you find yourself watching, you find yourself attached to it, and it is really unfortunate. I feel like the Islanders Habs was kind of the final a lot of people wanted, and it's tough to lose 1-0 too. And I was watching like the last couple of minutes; they were really close to putting it. There was a lot of centering passes. There was a lot of great stuff towards the end. Vasilevsky, though, I think this is his 3rd straight shutout in a final clinching game or something like that.
Yes,
It's pretty absurd. So, here's a quote coming out just now from Dan Rosen. Just tweeted this from Nikita Kucherov. There was no question if I was going to play or not.
Really?
Yeah. So. He did play, right? I didn't see.
Yes, he did. He contributed. I think he had an assist on the. No, he didn't. I don't know. He might have.
I don't know. Either way, though. I mean, this is a Lightning team that has a real shot to repeat, but we can't sleep on the Canadiens in the final. We can't sleep on them. We have to kind of think about. Montreal has also been on a hell of a run. Nick, you're asking if the past decade the Isles were way more successful. I don't know. I haven't paid much attention.
I honestly can't tell you. I mean, the Islanders sucked until they hired Trotz, and the Devils sucked all decade, and the Rangers sucked all decade, really, except for that one fluke in the finals in like 2012.
I think in this case you're looking at more of just a rivalry thing, like a territorial rival thing. The Devils, the Rangers, and the Islanders fans, they all hate each other. Yeah, I don't think the Islanders have been that splashy as of late. I think this is definitely a good run for them, though. Their last two seasons, they make it all the way to the technically the Eastern Conference Final, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying, you can't sleep on Montreal. I mean, they're a really strong team for sure. They've been absolutely on fire as of late. 11-2 in their last 13 games. That's a ridiculous stat. This is a good point that Splash is bringing up. New York Rangers in 2014 made the Cup final. New Jersey Devils in 2012 both lost to the Kings.
And then the Islanders haven't made it since 1984, and that'll continue to happen. But Kings were dominant.
Yeah,
I gotta say, I was not into hockey, but I remember not liking Jonathan Quick, because no one at my school liked Jonathan Quick.
Quick caused a lot of people pain that year.
Yeah,
for sure.
I would say so.
I don't know where to go from here, honestly.
While we're on the topic of Jonathan Quick, I think that the defining factor, you brought this up yesterday or 2 days ago on Timeout in the comments section. I thought it was a great point, but I think that a team that's as strong as its goalie is, from what I've watched, like that's
a
when
goalie carries you.
Yeah,
pretty much in the
exactly.
playoffs. Like you get
Varlamov caught fire, Sorokin caught fire, and it was all back and forth. The Islanders never really
Absolutely.
had that spark. Like they had Vasilevsky, Lightning did, just going day after day after day. And the Canadians have Carey Price, who's got a 9.34 goals goal allowed average or something like that.
Yeah, I was in the comments just losing my mind that nobody mentioned Carey Price. Like you can't talk about a hot goalie and not mention Carey Price. Yeah, Nick, the Golden Knights, they were founded in 2017 was their first year, and they made it to the Stanley Cup final year 1. Year 2, they choked to the Sharks,
right?
And then year 3, they're back in the Western Conference final, and now here they are again in another conference or another semifinal.
That's pretty awesome. It's like hard to believe that they're that new and that successful.
I've called their fans the most privileged fans in the league. I kind of feel bad saying it, but at the same time, it's kind of true. Like, how many times do you get a new team, an expansion team, and they're just that successful right off the bat?
Like my team hasn't been successful in a while, and then you guys get 3 right off the bat. It's just
40. I was as a Kings fan, 45-year drought, and they had gone 10 years in a row without making the playoffs. And then they finally win a cup, and it's like that's awesome and all, but like you compare that to Vegas, and it's just like right out of the gate they're in a Stanley Cup final.
Exactly.
Like
it's like you decide to get into basketball in 2016, you pick the Warriors. Honestly, I wouldn't call it a bandwagon because they didn't know what they expected, but
sure,
it's just kind of similar to that.
Yeah, Nick, to kind of build on this too, droughts happen. They happen all the time in hockey. I think Chicago, the Blackhawks went like 54 years without a cup. The Rangers, they went like 54 years without a cup as well.
Yeah, something like that.
52 something. Droughts happen all the time, and they kind of go crazy when they happen. And look at Toronto, by the way, as well. They haven't won since 1967. That's one of the longest ongoing droughts as well.
And I love it. I love every second of it.
Yeah, I mean, not much else to talk about. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that we're gonna see the Islanders arena, the barn, Fort Never Lose as they call it, the Nassau Coliseum, come to an end. I think it's really cool that they got a farewell season there. That probably almost maybe didn't happen because of COVID. So, and I mean, that place was I love though how the announcers are just losing their minds over people throwing beer cans on the
It's like, a send off. It was their send off.
Yeah, it's a send off, and I get it. And it's like I make fun of Vegas fans all the time because they're kind of bandwagony as well. And I'm gonna bring this example in there again. This team had they lost 4-1 in their last home game, and the fans are just out. Like, despite knowing that this could possibly be their last game for the year, when they haven't even been to games most of the year. Like before the game is even over, Montreal scores the empty net and they're just up and out. Come on, guys!
I think it's just the air of the playoffs, the success. I mean, there's just everyone's got bandwagons. Even
absolutely.
No matter if you're in the playoffs, you're gonna have a bandwagon fan.
For sure.
And if you live in the area, you don't care about hockey because the Habs suck. Now they don't suck, and now it's worth it. Now it's worth celebrating because there's something to celebrate.
I'm completely. Yeah, go ahead.
I think they're like just completely. They're in waiting. They've been waiting 2021 minus 1993, however long that is, to get their asses into the streets and party like it's 1993.
I'm just completely calling Nick out tonight. Like, he's the perfect example of this. Like, he's not much of a hockey fan, but like he's just like he's been into it tonight. Like, and like it does that to you. Hockey's just like that kind of sport. It feels like it has this kind of like togetherness about it. Like, you feel like you're like really with a family of fans, if you know what I mean. Like, when you're rooting for this team, it's like, and it's just like hockey fans tend to just be like really classy about it as well. Like I've been to a countless amount of Kings games, and like everybody's chill, everybody's calm. Like they were playing the Leafs, and there were these Leafs fans sitting in front of me, and we were like just joking with each other the whole time. And then we say good game after and shake hands, and it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to 2 Rams games. There were fights at both. So
the only hockey game I went to was a Devils game this year, and they lost to the Sabres because of course they did. And I just remember, I think it was Zajac that scored, and the goal song happened, and I was in the nosebleeds because I didn't care enough to get like a nice seat. Yeah. You know, like we got the seat, we got tickets. It was cool. I enjoyed it. So my dog just ran down the stairs. I hope everyone saw that. Sorry about that. Yeah. So I think they were chanting like "ha," like they're in the goal song in the breaks. They chanted "You suck," and that was the extent of the trash talking that I heard.
Yeah.
And at the Jets games, we got boozy hecklers. I remember I went to an XFL game. And we sat right behind the kickers, and the section behind us. Oh my God, man! There's just
was it a DC Defenders game or New York Guardians or whatever it was?
Yeah, it was a Guardians game.
Yeah.
They were playing Nick Novak, which was the Wildcats, and Nick Novak just got relentless torture almost. It was so fun. But
I remember watching that because I was rooting for the Wildcats in the XFL, and I was just like, damn, they're going all out on this guy. So
and then Nick Novak missed 2 kicks and got hurt. So it was just poetic justice almost.
Unfortunate. But yeah, hockey fans tend to kind of be like that. Like they'll talk their trash. It's usually a lot of words. I think you can attest to this because your team had probably the biggest example of it when John Tavares left the Islanders and made his return to the Nassau Coliseum playing for the Leafs.
Mm-hmm.
And Islanders fans were just relentless. Like they were just going all game long, but from like the warm-ups too. It was crazy. Yeah. It was absolutely crazy.
He was their franchise guy, and then he left. And so we got to call him a snake. And that's why I don't like the Leafs anymore, because the public has goaded me to hating John Tavares.
I don't blame you. I think last thing before we wrap it up, though, I want to talk about this goaltending matchup. Carey Price versus Andrei Vasilevsky. Neither goalie sat out a minute during the entire postseason.
Really?
Both of them have just been completely on fire. What do you think here? What do you think? Are you excited for this?
Well, now I'm biased because,
I'm sure it's kind of a bad time because you're still kind of in the heat of the moment. Like
I think Andrei Vasilevsky sucks right now, but I'm very excited for that. I think Carey Price gets the upper hand. The way the Habs have been just working as a whole cohesive unit and just getting the young guys points, getting everything together. I think that no matter how tight John Cooper's Lightning play, I think Carey Price wins the battle here. I think
it's going to come down to the wire for sure. I mean, I predicted earlier on the sports desk earlier today, I was talking about how I thought Tampa was going to win because of the crowd. And you compare these two crowds. Canada is obviously still in a bit of a worse situation than we are right now in the U.S. So they're still only getting like 3,500 people at the Bell Center. You guys are going to, or not you guys, but Tampa Bay is going to have a full house. We'll see what that can do.
So, I mean, I didn't really think home ice was a thing until I saw the Nassau Coliseum versus Amalie Arena. Honestly, I think that played such a factor. The Lightning at home were a different team, and so were the Isles. I think that the only reason that the Lightning won was because they were home. If they were at home, if this game 7 was at the barn, there's no way Lightning are going home.
Yeah, I think the support from the fans is a pretty big reason why they were able to win Game 6. So it was a good fight for the Islanders. It was really close. They definitely showed that they have a lot, and they can. There's a chance for them next year to compete. I feel like they are up there now, like back-to-back Western or Eastern Conference final appearances is no joke.
Lou Lamoriello, Jim Gregory back-to-back.
All right, last thing before we go. Series prediction and Conn Smythe winner. Who you got?
All right. You know what? I can't name any Canadiens players, so I'm going to say Lightning in 7. And I think Braden Point, even though he snapped his goal streak, I think he stays hot. I think he scores at least 5 in this series. And I say he wins the Conn Smythe.
All right. I have Montreal in 7. Carey Price is going to win the Conn Smythe. I feel like Carey Price has just been an absolute brick wall. There's a lot of players like Cole Caulfield, Philip Deneau, what's his name? I mentioned him earlier, Nick Suzuki. He's been going off. But I mean, the Canadiens would not be where they are without Carey Price. They probably wouldn't have even gotten past the Leafs in round 1 without Carey Price. So it should still be a banger of a series. I feel like both of these teams have very hot goalies. So that's kind of what carries you in the playoffs, honestly.
I agree.
How 100%. It goes. So, Henry, I'm sorry about the tough loss, man. Close series, but that's going to wrap it up here. Just our quick little live.
I'll go make some promos for the team that just ended my run.
Well, at least they'll still be killer graphics. So that's going to do it for us, guys. Download the U Stadium app if you haven't already.
Yes, please do that.
Yeah, that's going to do it for us. Our quick little Stanley Cup final preview. We'll see you when we see you. Thanks for watching.
Take care, everybody.